Welcome to the channel Learn with Danish. Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Hello, all. Have a nice and peaceful day. So, in the last video, we discussed about tragedy, the features of a tragic hero, certain terminologies associated with tragedy, according to Aristotle. Then we discussed a bit of Senecan tragedy, medieval tragedy, and a bit of Elizabethan theatre, and what's English tragedies like, and what domestic tragedy or bourgeois tragedy is, and a bit of modern tragedy. So, moving on to the next topic in this video, we are going to discuss about the next type of drama, comedy. So, comedy is basically a genre of drama that is intended to be humorous or amusing, invoking laughter of audience. It is something entirely different from tragedy, isn't it? In tragedy, we have discussed that it is a drama which dealt with the darker side of light. So here in comedy, it is much hilarious, humorous, which amuses people, amuses the audience. It deals with lighter side of life. Okay, and it has a happy ending. Even though in the beginning they might portray a bit of confusions and unkind things in the beginning, the ultimately the end would be a happy one. And the characters, unlike in tragedy, are generally of less importance in comedy. Now, what is the treatise of comedy? According to Aristotle in Poetics, he states that comedy originated in phallic rituals and festivals of mirth. It is basically an imitation of the ridiculous, which is piece of the ugly. Okay, it is actually an imitation of the ridiculous, which is a species of the ugly. Okay, Aristotle taught that the comedy is a good thing. Okay, which is entirely different from what Aristotle's tutor Plato has said. Okay, Aristotle again says that comedy is a good thing and it brings forth happiness. Aristotle thought that comedy is a good thing and comedy brings forth happiness, which for Aristotle is the ideal state, and that is the final goal of any activity. So, this is the idea of comedy, what Aristotle teaches us, which is entirely different from his tutor Plato. Yes, the Greek philosopher Plato taught that comedy is a distraction to the self, the just opposite of what Aristotle has later taught. Plato believed it produces an emotion that overrides a rational self control and learning. So, I think analyzing the both philosophers, Plato is a bit more sadistic when compared to Aristotle. So, his opinion about tragedy and comedy was also likewise. So, moving on to the types of comedies. A further subcategorization inside comedy. The first one is romantic comedy, which was developed by Elizabethan dramatists and modeled on contemporary prose romances such as Thomas Lodge's Rosalind. And this was the source of Shakespeare's drama As You Like It. So generally the romantic comedies represents the themes like or the things like love affair and beautiful heroine and engaging heroine, problems and hurdles that pop up in between, and ultimately they'll have a happy ending. Okay, for example, you can find Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice, where Portia and Bassanio hurdles with lots of obstacles, and finally they have a happy ending. You can also have a parallel here in Bollywood. You can compare lots of Hindi movies. For example, Shah Rukh Khan movies. Initially, they have a lots of hurdles in their love affair, and finally have a happy ending. So that is all about the romantic comedy. The next type is, or the next category is satiric comedies. So satiric comedy is ultimately comedy anyway, but slight different from romantic comedy. This one would be bit more satirical, which ridicules the political policies or the philosophical doctrines or anything like that, which ridicules violators of the social standards. Okay, so you can find lots of old satirical comedies, written by Greek writer Aristophanes. One of the notable one is Aristophanes' Lysistrata. And pretty much later in the English scenario, we can find satirical comedy written by Ben Jonson, Walpole, and The Alchemist. Then this type of comedy is also called corrective comedy. Corrective comedy in the sense that they picturizes the situation or things in such a way that it is more didactic in nature. It corrects the society and it shows which is the right way. Moving on to the next type, it is comedy of manners. Actually, comedy of manners, even though it was more popularized during the Restoration period, it was originated from the new Greek tragedy of Menander. Okay, which was developed by Roman dramatists like Plautus and Terence in the 2nd and 3rd century BC. The subject dealt with in these comedy of manners were vicissitude of young lovers, and stock characters could be seen like clever servants, wealthy rivals, etc. And the best example were the comedy of manners, few comedy of manners written by Shakespeare, and later on it was polished by the Restoration writers. Moving on, restoration dramas, which is it is actually a comedy of manners itself, which was prevalent during those times during the restoration period, which was very realistic in nature. The realistic and satirical dramas during this period, or the comedy of manners, which were very realistic in nature, which was also satirical in nature, were called the restoration drama. Okay, the comedy of manners which is prevalent during the restoration period was also generally termed as restoration drama, and the main influence was none other than the French writer Molière. Okay, and it was mainly modeled on Molaire's plays. Okay, most of the comedy of manners were modeled on the French writer Molaire's works. So, the one main thing which makes the restoration drama different from rest of the comedy of manners or rest of the satirical comedies where its depiction or its representation of relations and intrigues of men and women, and the sophisticated upper class society was portrayed. The wit and comic effect were there in dialogues. Okay, so the portrayal of the relationship between men and women on the stage was entirely different, was a bit more explicit. And one of the best example of restoration drama was The Way of the World, written by William Congreve, and The Country Wife, written by William Wycherley. And later, this drama paved way for another type of comedy called sentimental comedy of the 18th century. So, sentimental comedy was popularized by the 18th century. It all what was different from so how sentimental comedy was different from restoration drama or comedy of manners, where was that it cut off all the vulgarities from the comedy of manners. So, sentimental comedies, which was prevalent during the 18th century, you can consider it as another type of comedy or another type of drama or another type of comedies which was different from comedy of manners. Sentimental comedy was much polished and a bit more refined when compared to comedy of manners. Moving on. So, next type of comedy which comes in the list is farce. Farce is actually, it came from a Latin word to stuff. Okay, first, farce were comic interludes in a main play. Earlier, in a longer play, they used to have the time between they used to have small skits between the acts. Okay, between the preparation time between the act 1 and the 2, they lower their curtain, and the audience had to wait a lot of time for the second act to be enacted on the stage. So meanwhile, a small skit was presented from the down side of the stage, so that were actually interludes. So farce were initially introduced as a comic interludes between the main play, either to relieve it or to increase the length of a play. Okay, so farce is actually an exaggerated form of comedy which provokes the audience to simple hearty laughter. Okay, belly laugh. Okay, it's just very hilarious in nature, and at times it also employs absurd characters and situations and dialogues. Highly exaggerated and caricatured type of characters could be seen in farce. Okay, later on, but anyway, later on it declined the rise. Okay, it declined with the rise of sentimental comedies in the 18th century. So, farce was popular only during the 17th century, you can say. And the best example of the farce is Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. So that's all about the genre called comedy and the different subgenres inside the comedy, like romantic comedy, satirical comedy, comedy of manners, a bit slight different restoration comedy, and then farce. Moving on to the next genre of drama is tragic comedy. It is a type of Elizabethan Jacobean drama which amalgamates both, which combines both tragedy and comedy, where you can find standard characters, where a serious subject matter and plot form will be there. Okay, so this type of drama wasn't there during the earlier times. It was completely unknown to Greeks, because there wasn't anything like tragic comedy. They had comedy. If it is comedy, the entire drama would be comedy. If it's a tragedy, the entire drama would be a tragedy. There is nothing of the amalgamation of that sort, were prevalent or were known to the Greeks. So, in tragic comedy, you can find equal distribution of comic and tragic elements. Okay, It is distinct from tragedy that contains comic elements and from comedy that has a tragic background. It is entirely different from that. Okay, one thing you need to note here is that tragic comedy is a genre which has equal distribution of comic and tragic elements. Okay, and here in this tragic comedy, the characters also undergo lots of transformation. Maybe the transformation would be natural or maybe it would be forced. Anyway, before the play closes, lots of happenings would be there in such type of dramas. And in such type in tragic comedy, lots of supernatural elements and pastoral elements are also freely used. Now we'll just go through a few examples of tragic comedy. The first one in the list goes The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. In this play, you can definitely find a comic structure. It also has a strong tragic story, isn't it? And it is considered as a traditional tragic comedy. And in the play, obviously, it has a happy note there with the union of lovers in the story. Uh, Antonio is saved from a tragic incident. Okay, readers are left with a taste of Shylock's sufferings also. Okay, and by the end of the play, the end is neither happy, nor gloomy one. Now let us take another example of tragic comedy, which is none other than Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot, a tragic comedy. You can find many gestures and dialogues and actions and situations filled with pure comedy. Okay, the comedy turns into a tragedy due to the helplessness of these tramps. Okay, these useless people. Okay, you can also have a sense of alternative happiness and sadness there, tragedy there. These characters, Didi and Gogo, the main two characters, these two tramps were waiting for Godot. Okay, Godot, they are waiting for Godot. The whole drama is all about these two people waiting for Godot, and finally they are disappointed because Godot doesn't come. Godot doesn't appear in on the stage. So finally, the story ends like Didi and Gogo disappointed. Didi and Gogo are disappointed. So this drama is a very interesting one, very funny one to watch it. Try to watch it if you can. And by this note, I'd like to end this video. I hope you understood these topics which I've discussed. Thank you.